we at?
Streaming!
Here we go.
And we streaming!
We alive!
We fight 10.
Let's fighting love. Oh, oopsie whoopsie.
Oh yeah, no,
the error screen.
oopsie whoopsie. Ooh, we made a fucky wucky. A with a fuck a boingo. The Code Monkeys, our headquarters, are working very hard to fix this. And I don't know if you saw the tweet where that came from.
I did. I did see that tweet. What is that though?
It's not a real error code.
I know.
It's like,
did someone just like make it?
yeah, it's just one of those things
okay.
making fun of like when companies do like, it looks like our monkeys didn't do what they did on our website. Oh God, we're gonna send the better monkeys, and they're gonna, like, they do that bullshit where they're just like, we're not gonna explain the error to you. We're just gonna say there's an error. In the most like beating around the bush way possible.
Yeah, it's like, hey, something went wrong.
Hi,
Whoops!
hi, Snowcat. Welcome. Yeah. So today it's only two of us. Everyone died.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a shame. Rest in peace.
We honor their memory with this.
What were the names?
Shit,
I forgot. This isn't gonna hold over well when I die.
I do.
You forgot our names?
Right. Yeah. When we join them, they'd be like, I can't believe, how hard is it to remember Spat?
Yes.
Oh, that's your name.
Oh.
See, I remember it.
Yeah. So Specs is, he's working. Did he say he's like working
6
early?
a.m.
Yeah, he's working pretty early tomorrow, so he can't really fuck around.
Right, he went
Punk,
to bed like.
I mean, Red is doing a double shift today, so.
Oh gosh.
Jesus, like I've never really had a job, and I just don't like the sound of that.
That I feel you.
And
school is way better than having a job. So like any kind of scholarship you can get, anything that pays you to go to school, do that.
And that little butt fuck Punk is just off on his own.
Oh yeah, that freaking like. Oh yeah.
I got a
streaming today. Sorry.
Streaming with this person who means a lot to me.
People. It's like, damn it.
I
want to stream with 70 people, but you know what? Our Snowcat counts as like 18 people, so I think that's good.
I need to spread the link around. Yeah, so today we're going to be having just a small show. We're not going to talk about like huge topics. We're just going to talk about topics that Drew wasn't able to talk about last week, and other topics that he has, just smaller things that we have in mind. So,
right, like this old ass game I'm playing.
Yeah, I've been noticing, like, I've been playing a lot of The Division. I've been playing a lot of Phantom Pain, and I noticed that you keep on playing Gothic 3.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that game, but but it's.
Exactly.
What is it? Go ahead and explain while I spread the link around.
Okay, well, Gothic 3 is the third installment in the Gothic series produced by Piranha Bytes, which is a German gaming company. And it was published by Joe Wood, which I love Joe Wood. But
Joe Wood?
Yes,
Joe Wood. Joe Wood Productions?
Yes.
Like the ones who made Chaser?
I don't know if they made Chaser, but I do know they made Nomad and they made Europa 1400, and they also made like they publish all of the Gothics, so like I really like them because all of those games are super great, and they're old too. Like I don't know what Joe Wood's been doing recently, but I do know that like growing up with Joe Wood, I would play their games all the time. I like them a lot. Now, Piranha Bytes is the actual developer, so they're the ones that do all the coding and stuff. And Gothic 3 is this big ass 100 hours of gameplay game that is as big as Oblivion is, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but no one's ever heard of it. It's insane. Like, okay, so Gothic 3 is a game where you sail from the island of I can't remember what Khorinis. You sail from the island of Khorinis. You were a prisoner there, but you escaped and killed some horrible monster of Beliar, and then got crushed by boulders and died. That's how Gothic.
It's an interesting game. That's a weird ending, though.
That's how Gothic 1 ends. I never played Gothic 1, so I don't know any spoilers beyond that. Gothic 2 begins with Xardus the Necromancer reviving
where you play as the boulder.
You play as the boulder. You get to roll over.
Nah, that's Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
I think that's what it's called.
So you get to you get to play the same character who has no name, by the way. He didn't.
Let's just call him Gothic.
1. He has no name in Gothic 2, and he has no name in Gothic 3 either. But in each game, there is at least one NPC where he's about to say his name to them, but then the other person interrupts him.
Of course. That always happens.
In Gothic 2, if you join the Fire Mages of Enos, which are basically like a mixture between a wizard and a cleric, and they use fire magic. You go up to the guy, and he's like, all right, you want to be an initiative Enos. Who are you? And he goes, my name is, and he goes, that's not important right now. I want to know where you're from and what you've done. And he goes, well, and then he goes, shady past, eh? Well, if you are accepted into the church, all your sins will be absolved, and yada yada. So it's really funny. And then in Gothic 3, there's a guy that, in much the same way, you go to tell him your name. He's like, oh yeah, I want to work for these orc mercenaries. My name is, and he goes, whatever. As long as you have working limbs, I don't care what your name is. So, and like you see characters between the series. So like if you haven't played the series, you can say like, oh, do I know you or whatever. But if you've played the game before, you can be like, I remember you're this person. And it's really fun to have played like Gothic 2 all the way through, and then in Gothic 3 seeing some of the people that are still alive and they remember you. Especially this guy named Thoris, who thoroughly hates you.
Oh. That's always nice.
You get to torment him by being around, because every time you're ever around him, you ruin his life. Like, one of your dialogue options is to say, relax, everything will be fine, and he says, ugh, don't ever let me hear you say that again, understand?
This is fucking Strong from Fallout 4.
Every time you see him, you say, relax, everything's going to be fine, and then you end up screwing him over.
Oh. Fantastic.
So, it's really well put together, it's well written. Your hero is entirely customizable through a learning point system, which is, I think, is like old school, but really, it's a good system. So what happens is every time you level up, you gain 10 learning points, and then everything in the game requires you to have learning points to get it. So if you can increase your health, your magic. In Gothic 3, your endurance. You didn't have endurance in Gothic 2. You can raise your hunting skill or your dexterity in Gothic 2, or strength. You can get bows, strong bowmen, master bowmen, heavy crossbows, good crossbowmen, master crossbowmen, a bunch of other stuff. Extra damage to orcs, because orcs are the main enemy in two games that I played anyway. The leveling up system is really great. I actually like it. It's experience based, which that's sort of tried and true. I mean, there are better ways to be customizable, but with the learning points, since you can spend your learning points at any trainer in the game at any time, you just gotta find the trainer that you want to learn the skill from. So like if you want to learn smithing, you got to find a smith, but there's a smith in every town. So every time you go to town, boom, you can learn smithing. Hunters, they're a little bit harder to find. They're kind of on the outskirts of towns in little huts, so you got to walk outside and find them. Mercenary trainers, like they'll train you how to fight. There's one of those in every town. So training is affordable. It's actually quite prevalent. I'm almost always banking learning points, like almost always, because I never need anything like right away, except for the beginning of the game. So the leveling system, I really like it. It's dynamic. You can be an archer who also uses magic, or you can be a fighter who's also an alchemist, or you can be a thief who has pickpocket and stealing, but also has magic, like transforms into animals and stuff. So you can there's no class. It's just whatever you spend your learning points on is what you have. So, I mean, that's right there is a pretty good customizability. And then the world. The world is what's most impressive, especially since this game was started in 2004 and released in 2006. The world is called Murtana, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It has 20 visitable locations. And it's a big world. It's like the size of... I would like to say the size of Oblivion, because Oblivion's a little smaller than Morrowind. And I would say Breath of the Wild, but like that is apparently extremely large. So maybe more like Oblivion or Skyrim. So the world is very large.
Yeah, I don't always judge a game by the size of its map. What's more important to me is how dense it is.
Right.
Like a game like Yakuza. Yakuza is kind of an open world game, but it's like its world, which is just like one section of town, is dense. There's so much shit to do.
That's actually how this game is then. Like if I guess density is a good word for it, because there is a lot of things to do. Like, for example, I have active quests, and they're from each different section of the game. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 active quests right now. And I have succeeded. I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 40. Wow. I've done over 100 quests because that's 50. So yeah, with the 14 that I have, I've done over 100 quests. And I am 26 hours into the game, and I still haven't visited 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the locations.
Jeez.
So out of the 20 locations, there are 100 quests in
Damn.
just 7 of them. That's insane.
But how many of those quests are like the same kind of objective?
Well, it's interesting. There are about 9 or 10 slay quests in there. They either tell you to go find a mob that is a regular mob but is named differently. Like there's a mob called a Ripper Beast, but for one of the quests you have to find the nasty or the malicious Ripper Beasts. And if you kill all the malicious Ripper Beasts, it completes the quest, even if you don't have the quest. So if you do a quest that you don't have, it puts it in your quest log and it shows you where to get the quest so you can go turn it in. Because it gives you reputation with those people, which is cool. A lot of the quests are... So there are slay quests like that, but like, looking at the top quests that I have in my successful tab, I have the Thieving Orc Patrol, Jack's Rebel Gold, Liberate Ardea from the Orcs, Cowardly Goblins in the Night, Defeat the Champion Ashton in the Arena, Tell Dennis that Bradley needs a new slave, Change of Shift in the Slave Camps, Kill the Aggressive Wild Boars, and Kill the Strange Lurkers by the River. But you defeat people in the arena fights. You have to gather up grain from grain thieves, which is kind of like a retrieval, and you have to retrieve the grain but also kill the thieves, so that's a combo quest. Get healing potions. Go beat up this guy because he won't work anymore. Kill a demon inside of a castle. So a lot of them, there are typically 5 different kinds of quests that you need to do. You need to clear out something, kill something, deliver something, convince someone to do something,
And telling someone to get a new slave.
and telling someone to get it. Yeah, finding a new slave for Bradley.
Sorry, Bradley. So wait, is that quest literally just that you go up to Bradley and go, "Hey, you're gonna have to find a new slave," and then that's it. You get experience and learning points. You're good.
Yeah, and you're good.
What did you learn from that?
Well, Dennis is the leader. He runs the farm outside of a town called Montera.
I experienced telling someone to find a new slave.
And you tell
Let
him,
me
"Hey,"
put that into strength, and I'll be stronger now.
right? That's what. Well, you talk to Dennis, learn that he has a couple of slaves on the farm that are ready to go back to the excavations, but the slaves don't want to do that, so you got to find a way to convince the slaves. Or no, they have to find a way to convince you not to send them.
Other than the fact that you don't want to send back slaves?
Right, and like, right now, I'm playing a rebel, and the rebels want to liberate Myrtana from the orcs, because after Gothic 2, the bad guys won.
Huh.
Not in the way that, like, that's actually not a spoiler, because it's more like the beginning of Gothic 3, you learn that the bad guys won. In Gothic 2, something very specific happens, and then if you've played Gothic 2 and see the ending of Gothic 2, the beginning of Gothic 3 almost makes no sense, because of how it sounds all wrong. Because the guy you're looking for is your friend, and everybody on Myrtana is like, "Oh yeah, that guy's a dick," and you're like, "He's not a dick.
I've experienced that before.
He's my friend." And so you're looking for him not to stop him from being a dick, but to find out what the truth is. Because, I mean, he may not actually be a dick. people might be blaming him for something that's happening that he didn't actually.
I will say the game seems to have a really good naming system for like leveling up. It kind of reminds me of Persona 5 because in Persona 5 you have 5 social stats.
Okay.
Usually meant to like help you with what's not like with what's happening in the real world and not in the conscious or the cognition world. And it goes the 5 stats are knowledge, guts, proficiency, kindness, and charm.
Okay.
And each one has 5 levels, and each level has a great name to it.
Awesome.
So let's starting with knowledge. You start off as oblivious. Then you go to learned, then scholarly, then encyclopedic, then erudite.
Erudite.
And then with guts you go from
That's
you go
a sweet name.
yeah. Then in guts you start off as milk toast.
Milk toast. I was expecting like wimpy.
Then you go to bold. Then you go to staunch. Then dauntless. Then lion-hearted.
Oh wow, Dauntless is sweet.
Yeah, and then with proficiency it starts off as bumbling. Then you go to decent. You go decent, skilled, masterful, transcendent. And then with kindness, it's inoffensive, considerate, empathetic, selfless, and angelic. Basic ones. But with charm, you start off as existent.
Existent.
Then you go to head turning.
Ooh.
Suave, charismatic, and debonair.
Ooh, debonair.
And so, like, whenever like a word would change, it's like debonair. You are now debonair.
Hell yeah, yeah.
And I will say I did experience debonair in my first playthrough because I had to get my charm all the way up to debonair so I can go out with the girl I wanted to go out with.
Ah, okay.
And I will say it probably wasn't worth it because I basically neglected everyone else.
I see.
And I only got like 3 people to be with me at the end. Anyway, spoilers. Sorry. Yeah, so that's how it goes in Persona 5. Anything else you want to talk about with Gothic 3?
Well, it's just weird that people haven't played this game because according to howtobeat.com or howlongtobeat.com, this game, if you play through story plus extras, it's a 78-hour game. And then there is a 21-hour expansion pack. That's 99 hours of gameplay. I had no idea it had an expansion pack, which I need to search on Steam so I can buy it because, like, holy crap. But I don't know why more people haven't played it. It is extremely fun. It's also really goofy. Like, you know how Skyrim can be kind of stupid sometimes, like riding a horse up the side of a mountain?
Yes.
Well, this game is also stupid like that. If you go faster if you run downhill, and you go slower if you go uphill. But if you go up too steep of an incline, you'll slide. But if you jump and then slide, you can jump again before you're done sliding, so you can jump up the side of a mountain like that.
Listen, it's easy to double jump. Just jump on your foot. Like jump off of a chair and then put your foot on your other foot and start jumping, and you'll. I remember reading that somewhere.
That's funny.
It's just like, it's amazing. It's the best. It's perfect.
But like the combat is so weird sometimes because wolves can rip you apart and you'll die. I have died to wolves and goblins, but trolls and like dragons can't hurt me at all because I'm an archer. So if too many goblins come up to me, they they stun lock me and I can't get out and I die. Because if 2 goblins are hitting you in alternating hits, like wolves too, if 2 are hitting you at a time, you can't get up. Like you are stuck until you die. Even if you have the best armor in the game, that mechanic sticks you so that unless they stop attacking you, you will die. And that sucks.
Sounds
so,
a bit broken.
It is. There's like a rebalancing patch out that I think is a fan patch, but it's a very bizarre mechanic. But like the best fights are when you're fighting against other archers, where you get to actually dodge their arrows and shoot back your own arrows. That's when combat actually becomes like real.
Man, it'd be really hard to get a game that actually has like cool art, like bow combat, where you're actually trying to run around and shoot bows and sliding. Because I don't know if you ever saw a video of like this guy who's like people in history, it's been told that archers would just stand by and do nothing and just shoot from afar. In reality, they were much more mobile than people think them to be, and that's why the quiver on the back is so not real.
Yeah, because they were more skirmishy. Like, they were skirmishers.
Yeah.
More than just standing in the back and shooting.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, I do like this game. I'm going to play it into completion. I'll probably have more to say about it later as I find more and more weird nonsense about it.
Yeah. And so let's get all the other stuff that you didn't talk about last week because you weren't here. God, I'm still blaming you for that.
What?
Not being here.
Oh yeah, I will.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
I was joking.
And,
I'm being an asshole.
Also, I know it's fine. It's fine. But like, same thing. I don't know why work suddenly started scheduling me every Sunday morning.
That's weird. That's weird. We might have to reschedule when the show goes up if that's the case. But
I'm gonna try and stick it to them and say, hey, if I'm opening Sunday, don't close me on Saturday.
Okay, so let's start with boneless or traditional.
Boneless.
Okay, good. Anyway. Basically, on Twitter, there was this whole conversation in the centrist community where they're like, get out of here with that boneless shit. That's just a nugget. Real men eat wings. And then there's a whole argument. Everyone got involved. A wife and a husband split, like, they didn't split up, obviously, but they were, like, divided. It was the best ever, and I was on the boneless side.
Yes, I am also on the boneless side.
Did you hear about Call of Duty? Did you hear about Call of Duty Black Ops 4?
That's super manly. No, I didn't. Wait, yes, I did. The one with the shield logo. That's just the.
It's not a shield. That's apparently the Roman numeral for 4.
Yeah, 111 I. But you know, it's not IV or anything.
It's.
Apparently, it can be either way.
They're like, oh, it's tally marks. It's like, well, then make it look like a tally mark.
Right. That would kind of look even cooler because it's like rugged and not. I think looking disheveled would have been a better logo because it's like, oh man, this is gritty. Look how crappy that.
But no,
logo
it's futuristic. So shut up.
Every line is always made perfectly, and tally marks are all perfectly straight.
Yeah. Let's see. Bridget? You want to talk about Bridget a bit?
Yes.
What do you think of her?
Brigida. The Awakened.
I'll say, it's been a while since I've been attracted to an Overwatch character.
She is pretty great. Well, I haven't played her on the PTR, but I have heard a lot about her. She is something that I've wanted since the beginning of the game. Now, I am so upset that we don't have another defense character. The last 2 characters have been support characters, and we haven't had a new defense character since launch last year. And it's like, come on, guys! When are we going to have a defense character?
Who was the defense character? Who's the added defense character?
No one added. There has not been an added defense character since launch.
Oh, great.
Right. So they've added three offensive characters. No, two offensive characters. Sombra and Doomfist.
Wait, Doomfist isn't tank?
No, he ended up being offense.
But he's black.
Right? They added two tanks. Orisa. Or no, they added just one tank.
Orisa's
Orisa.
okay.
And they've added three supports. Anna, Moira, and now Brigitte. Which
Would you like to say that name again?
Brigitte.
Okay, fine.
Its English pronunciation is Bridget.
Yeah, and we are English, motherfucker.
But I guess German it's Brigitte, which is weird also.
Why does it matter? Oh, because Reinhardt says it?
Yeah.
Because I was like, she's Sweden, so she's Swedish, so I mean.
She is Swedish, yeah, that's true. Reinhardt says it.
But yeah, he
was the one who named her anyway.
Oh yeah, he is a godfather.
Yeah, he's the godfather, and according to the letter to his wife from Torbjorn, he promised that Reinhardt gets to name their daughter, and he apologizes to his wife for making that decision without her. And then
Torbjorn.
he just thinks that Reinhardt's gonna name her something really stupid.
It's Brigitte.
But he ends up coming up with Bridget, which means strength and
makes
strong
sense.
and honorable.
Yeah, so.
All right, so Reinhardt actually did well. Like he did a good job.
But yeah, she seems like I might come back to Overwatch for a little bit just to play her.
She's interesting. Apparently, she cannot use the repair pack on herself. Her main ability is like Reinhardt's hammer. She has this.
Oh no, we talked about it.
Oh, you did.
We talked about it in great detail last week.
Okay, well, I find she's going to be a useful addition. Lucio and her are going to be a very strong frontline healer combo.
Yeah.
Because she has a heal over time and he has a heal over time, and they're separate but they stack.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was talking to Lelth earlier today. Anna might get swapped into the meta, but not as a healer. They might use her as a DPS. And if they ever need a clutch heal, the Anna, who is sniping from the back, will hit the party up front with a grenade, so that all of that heal over time will just boost all the way up.
Jeez.
So, and they might add Anna as a DPS. So she'll just be back there, basically with an auto sniper rifle from Counter-Strike, just shooting, hitting as many people as she can, doing some DPS. So I can see Anna exclusively focusing on damage in the tournament meta, and have Bridget and Lucio up in the front with Winston and D.Va, or Reinhardt and Zarya.
Yeah, that could work.
And then, of course, Soldier or McCree for the DPS, because they're still the best. I mean, Genji kind of, but he's not hit scan, so people don't like that.
Yeah. Okay, so other things we talked about. We talked about movies or animes we watched. Have you seen anything?
Yeah. I watched The Descent and The Descent 2.
The horror movies?
Yes.
I heard the first one's actually pretty good.
I really liked the first one. But okay, let me open up with this. Both of them are horrible movies. But I enjoyed them nonetheless. They were still awesome. So, one thing I liked about it, all female cast, and in a realistic way.
Yeah.
So
Ghostbusters.
Right, Ghostbusters had an all-female cast, which is great, but in a very unrealistic way.
But also, not only that, they also marketed it as like, this is the reason why you should see it, because there's only women in it. When in The Descent, I'm pretty sure none of the advertising was like, oh, look at all these women. It's just like, this creepy shit happening in the cave.
Right, exactly. And I think that was a good move for them, because no movie ever goes, check out this movie, you should see it because it has 6 dudes as the main cast.
Magic Mike.
What? Okay. Touche.
I mean,
That's a very good point.
and that has 6 dudes.
Exactly 6.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, but I think that The Descent did a great job of having an all-female cast in a setting that makes sense,
And not making
then,
a big deal out of it.
right, not making a big deal out of it, but still ensuring positive representation.
Yes.
I thought that was impressive, and I was like, wow, this came out in 2006. This is good. I watched the movie, and the first 45 minutes to an hour is just... the first 45 minutes is just super boring. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot get into this movie at all. I was playing Smash Brothers while watching it. Like, okay. But then, like, the monsters started appearing, and I was like, oh my god! This is incredible. Like, they start fighting... and they start killing them, and they start the women start killing the monsters, and the monsters start killing the women, and you're like, holy shit, how's this gonna end up? I thought this was just gonna be monsters murdering a bunch of women, but no, it's not that at all. It's it's a bunch of women murdering a shit ton of monsters.
Who is the real monster?
But then, you know, it's actually amazing in the way that it is a monster movie. I like when you can fight against the monster, but there are too many of them. I also like when there is one monster that you cannot fight against no matter what.
It follows?
So, yes, like It Follows. It Follows is actually a pretty good example of a monster that you can fight against but cannot stop, because they do injure the monster, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It seems to care, but also doesn't stop. So you're like, oh crap! I love It Follows.
Oh, it's
one of the best horror movies.
It's one of my favorite horror movies, which is a very small list.
Right. I adore that movie. It is so good.
Yeah.
But The Descent, The Descent 1, actually pretty great. I mean, the writing is terrible and it's boring, but hey,
I heard
whatever,
The Descent 2
monsters.
is just genuinely terrible.
And then, yeah, The Descent 2 is really bad, but at least, again, more monsters. But the ending is the dumbest ending of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe not of all time. It's just really stupid.
I watched YMS review it. He likes the first one, and he does not like the second one. I think because I think directors did change between them.
Oh yeah, it does feel like that might be true.
Yeah. Anything else?
Movies. Oh, I saw Black Panther.
How was it?
Uh,
It's the best Marvel movie ever.
Black Panther is a good movie.
That's what I expect.
That's all I have to say about it.
I mean, it's like I'm not hate, but it's just like it kind of reminds me of people who are saying like it's the best Marvel movie of all time when like, dude, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 exists. And
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was
Howard the
very,
Duck
very good.
exists.
Howard the Duck. Yes.
But yeah, I have yet to see it. I have yet to see a lot of Marvel movies. But yeah, I heard it's actually pretty good. I heard Michael B. Jordan does an amazing job.
That is very true. Yes, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to say anything other than that. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Everyone should see it. It's an important movie, but it's not stellar. It's just great.
It's just good.
Yeah.
Like most Marvel movies these days. They're just good, which is kind of starting to get kind of bland because it's
Yeah, they're just good. And it's like, oh look, another good Marvel movie.
like just try something new. I don't know. But
No, I feel that I'm getting sick of Marvel movies. They're all good, and that's the problem. Like they're not new or dynamic. They're all just the same movie again.
Yeah. So have you watched any anime?
I talked about Made in Abyss last time. um, no, I don't think I have.
Well,
Not recently.
what I talked about last week was I talked about this anime called it's all Zuri Suri Children. It's an anime. It's basically a comedy romance anime.
Okay,
Um, and
I like those.
the original manga has a huge cast of characters.
Oh,
And this season was only able to focus on a few. I'm sure the next season will focus on more. But it's basically just couples happening. Um, and like some you can like kind of connect to, and some you can't. Like there was the couple I could connect to was like the ones where um, they grew up as friends, and they grew up like doing bits where they just like kind of messed around, trying to make each other laugh and all that. And the girl asked the guy out like as to after like a year ago, and she thought they were together. He thought it was a bit,
oh,
but then they actually do start dating, and it's actually pretty
oh, okay.
interesting. It does get heartwarming at times. It does get it has some. I would suggest watching the dub because it does do well enough
Okay.
to basically just be funny. There's one couple that's like it's the student council president and the bad student,
Oh,
um, male female respectively, and he caught her smoking, so he's like, "Be my girlfriend," or like, or kiss me or something.
oh, I thought. Oh, I thought it was gonna be the other way around.
Yeah, and he he started off as like, "I want to know if I can fall in love with a woman," and she's like, "What are you, gay?" No, no, it gets better. His response, "No, no, I tested that."
What?
And she was like, tested?"
Uh, you excuse me?
And then later on, and later on he goes like, "So how much to go all the way?" And she's like, 100,000 yen. He's like, "Perfect. You take cash." And he actually pulls out like 10.
She goes, "Oh my god, that's you keep that much on you? I've seen you posted that in the chat."
Yeah, because I was showing Specs it, and like it's adorable, it's
That
hilarious.
looks so funny.
And there is between the same couple. There's one moment where it's like they're like studying because like their relationship does have an arc where he's actually trying to make her a better student, and actually trying to like help her study so she can actually like do better in her family. And when they were studying, there's one where he's like, "So can I touch your boobs?" And then they had this whole argument like, "Is that all you just want to do with me?" It's like, "No, that's all I want to do with you, but what do you just want to touch your boobs?" And she's like, "You know what, fine. You know what, fine, just..." And then she was like, "You know what, fine, just touch my boobs." And he's like, "Okay, cool, I'm not gonna touch them." He's like, I just wanted to ask."
That's amazing.
Um, and there's another scene. I'm just gonna say like the premise of the scene, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
It's basically a scene where like one of the guys, little sister, who's like very protective of him,
Oh, okay.
basically picks up his phone when he's in the shower and tries to text like his love interest to not like him anymore. But the thing is, the love interest knows it's her the exact moment it happens. She knows. So she messes with her.
Oh my gosh.
And she makes her think that she's pregnant. It's amazing. It's like... It's amazing. It's just...
That's
It's an amazing... Like, the dub is great. I would suggest watching it. It's adorable. It's funny. It's... Like, sometimes it actually did, like, kind of make me tear up because it does get kind of, heartwarming at times. especially near the end when like all these arcs are kind of start like getting together, or some couples are starting to get together. Because there are some points where it's just like no progress is made throughout the whole season. Like there's that one couple that like they like each other, but they don't know it.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they mostly talk through texting. And and what's the worst thing you can do over a text? Is ask someone out. And so that there's that dynamic. So yeah, I would suggest you watch it. It looks like something that's up your alley.
That sounds perfect.
And what I plan to watch is Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard that is just an amazing anime, and it looks interesting to me. You ever heard of it?
I have heard of the Ancient Magus Bride. It's supposed to be extraordinary.
Yeah, so I've heard it's heartwarming. I heard it's not like it's very cute and all that stuff. So I'll it also just looks like an interesting premise.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, Chrono Trigger had a PC port.
What?
Did
it really?
And it was just as much a surprise as I surprised you with it, because it literally came out of nowhere. Like I was like just looking on Twitter, like just looking at Twitter stuff, all that bullshit, who's breaking up with who this time, and then all of a sudden, Chrono Trigger's on Steam. It's like, what? But actually, the thing I actually did think was like, wow, that's cool. I know a lot of people love Chrono Trigger. It's like some people's favorite games of all time. So that's cool. Yeah, it's the mobile port.
Of course it is. That's the same freaking stuff that they did with.
Wasn't it Final Fantasy like didn't they
something?
Yeah, they like tried to put out like either a remake or something of Final Fantasy, and it was the shittiest.
It was horrible.
I think it was Final Fantasy VI, maybe.
It might have been. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, but so that's just like, it must be heartbreaking for some people.
Yeah, it's the mobile port. Like, why? Why don't they just port the game? It's a Super Nintendo game. It's not hard.
It's not. It shouldn't be. Yeah, that's just like that stuff. I hope they fix it.
Yeah.
For the sake of the people who love Chrono Trigger. I don't know if you do.
I love Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, so.
It is.
How about Chrono Cross?
Chrono Cross is alright. It could have been. I don't know what it could have been.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
It could have been like 4 different video games.
That reminds me.
I like the magic system. You have to attack before you can use magic, so it kind of combines fighting with MP. You don't just exclusively magic with your magic characters and exclusively fight with your fighting characters.
That's cool.
You fight elemental casts. It's cool. You get 6 actions, and light attack takes 1, medium attack takes 2, and strong attack takes 3, and then each level of elemental spell takes 1 action. So you can do strong attack, get 3 elemental power, and then do a 3rd level elemental attack. So like the combat system was great in Chrono Cross. It was super good. But the rest of the game, there were 44 characters. It's like, come on,
that's too many. Oh yeah. One more thing about Serious Children is that there are a lot of characters, but each one of them feels unique and like realistic, except for one. But that's the point of that character. Okay, basically, there's a character that is a drama theater actor in at that place. That's the point of their character.
Okay.
So yeah, Chrono Cross, not great.
Chrono Cross not so great, no.
Yeah, but that reminds me. I know how much you love Undertale, and I love Undertale.
I do like Undertale.
One of my favorite streamers started to stream it. It's basically it's Pat's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Paige, who's like the only streamer I ever really watch because she's just hilarious, and the antics she gets into with Pat is just fantastic. She beat okay, so let me just start this off by saying she beat Bloodborne. She beat one of the what some people consider like one of the harder bosses in less than a minute, probably by accident. Most definitely by accident.
Incredible.
Most definitely by accident. And
By accident makes it even better.
She sucks at Undertale.
Oh,
Okay, I'll explain to you what her skill level is. You know Papyrus's attack, where he's like, here's my regular, here's like, he goes like, here's my powerful attack. Oh no, the dog's got it. Here's my regular attack. And then he sends it at you. And then there's that one bone at the very end of it that's just extremely slow.
Yeah.
That you can easily jump over. She didn't just get hit by it. She jumped over it, went, can I make it? Went backwards and hit it.
What? How do you get hit by that attack? It's designed specifically to be comedically bad.
No, just like you know, so she went backwards.
My gosh.
She was going forwards, and she somehow split directions and went backwards.
That's
Almost died, by the way.
dumb.
Almost died. She loves Papyrus. But
That's good.
she like it was so bad that me along with the whole chat just started berating her like, how could you do that? How did you do that? And like she got up and just she sat on Pat's lap and was just like, I'm sorry. It's probably one of the best moments that will mark her as that bad. The can I make it moment.
Can I make it?
Oh god. And yeah, so but she's do like recently she's actually doing pretty decent.
That's good.
But yeah, that's all I just wanted to say because like I know how much you like Undertale, so
I do like Undertale. It is a really great game. I think I don't know if I like Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger more or not.
It's a kind of a different kind of feel because like with Undertale, it's more heartwarming and like you actually it's not even about like the combat.
Right, exactly. It's definitely more character oriented.
Yeah,
which is what I like about it.
Yeah, and it has like a huge message of like monsters aren't always bad.
Right, exactly. What was I watching recently? That I haven't been watching a movie, but I do want to talk about a TV show that I've been watching.
Go away. What?
What?
There's a bug in my room.
Oh, I was like, what is going on?
Anyway, so what show?
I've been watching.
Is it Mick Mafia?
Forces of Evil. What?
Is it Mick Mafia? AMC's Mick Mafia?
Mick Mafia.
No, you say you started watching Star versus. That's one of the shows that I actually might want to start watching because it does look interesting.
I watched season 1 of the show. Like I watched 7 or 8 episodes of it. Yeah, 8 episodes of it, and I liked it. It was good, and I was like, maybe I won't continue this show though. Maybe I'll just skip ahead to Steven Universe and call this one good. Like,
what's wrong with you? Are you gay?
No, I tried that.
no, I tested that.
I tested that. That's right. That's what he says. No, I tested that.
Like I said, you would. It has your humor, man. You would love that anime. But then
I am going to definitely.
So what happened with Star versus the Forces of Evil?
Oh, then Damos came over and he was like, "I've been watching that too. I totally want to watch it with you." And so I showed him Minecraft for the first time. So needless to say, he played that the entire time he was over because Minecraft. And he's an engineer too. So.
I love playing Minecraft. I love building brown bricks in Minecraft. You ever seen that video?
See about Minecraft?
You ever seen that video? It's like this guy like reviewed Minecraft on the mobile version with Inspector Gadget.
Oh my god!
He just put like a JPEG of Inspector Gadget and like tried to make his voice, and so there's one where it's like, I love building brown bricks in Minecraft. Notice what I didn't pronounce there.
Yeah.
I love building brown bricks in Minecraft.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry. I keep doing that.
It's okay. So while he played Minecraft, I watched Star vs. the Force of Evil, and the last episodes in the season get pretty real. And I was like, what? What is going on? And he was like, dude, keep watching. So I watched the rest of season 1. I was like, oh, wow, that was pretty real. I'm kind of shocked. And so after he left, later on that week, I started watching season 2 because it's kind of a cliffhanger, not a huge cliffhanger, but kind of a cliffhanger to stop watching. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch season 2, and season 2 gets bonkers. But among it going crazy, it also gets way funnier. Like,
was it not that much funnier like in season 1?
Season 1, it was funny, but it was like goofy, childlike humor funny.
Did they start adding in like wagging the eyebrow, like adult humor? Like,
yes.
Look, doubloons, don't drop them.
There's a joke in it. They start playing Truth or Dare.
Oh.
And there's a joke where they have this cube, and it's Truth or Punishment.
What?
And they're playing Truth or Punishment, and they start with a simple one. You know, what's your favorite color? And the goth rebel chick goes, black, duh. And you know, one of the girls says yellow, and they all tell their favorite color, and they're like, one of you is lying, and everything goes from blue to red, and it starts like the walls start closing in, and you're like, what the fuck? So they're like, who's lying? Who's telling the lie about their favorite color?
Let me guess, it's the goth chick, isn't it?
And yeah, and the goth chick, eventually, before they get crushed, she's like, all right, fine, I actually like pink. And it's like, why didn't you just say you liked pink? And she says, well, because I don't like contributing to social normativity. and then the cube turns blue again, and it goes, truth. Jana likes pink and fighting the patriarchy. And I just lost it. I could not handle that joke. It was so funny.
That's just so...
It's just so funny.
Jesus Christ.
I was cry laughing. I was like, this is what I was expecting from Star vs. the Force of Evil. So after you get through the childish wonder of season 1, season 2 finds its niche and becomes an incredible show. Like a show that I was told it was. Like I was expecting it to be. So absolutely yes. Do check that out. But you just gotta make sure the first season is its soft season, and then the rest of it after that gets really amazing, both in comedy and in content, because it starts getting into relationships and how some don't work out and how some could work out, but you got to put effort into them, and how some you might not even know are there, and it gets in it even makes fun of itself, where there's this one kid, his name is Tom, and he is Star's ex-boyfriend, and his name is Thomas Lucitor. He is the Prince of Hell.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow. Prince of Hell, that's a pretty important position. Wow.
Look at this grass. What? Wow.
It's great.
This is the greatest grass I've ever seen in my entire life. Sorry.
But he plants somebody in Marco's school to make sure that Starco isn't a ship.
Does he say Starco?
He actually says Starco, and he actually says ship.
Fantastic.
I know. Like, I was like, that's so awesome.
That's the level of shit posting I need in my shows.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. It's excellent humor. Season 2 really takes off. It is absolutely worth the watch, and I'm currently caught up on season 3. I didn't know season 3 wasn't over yet. So
does it continue? And does this like humor and all that continue into season 3?
Oh, it sure does. Yes,
good.
It does continue that same level of good the entirety of season 3 as well. So nothing is lost.
That's good.
And it just finds new and innovative ways to be funny.
Yeah.
And like River, for example. River Johansson is Star's father. He is technically the king of the Muni's. He is technically king of Muni because he's married to Moon Butterfly, Star's mom.
Of course.
Who is a character all of her own. Like, Star's mom is awesome, and they get into her father and her mother deeply as characters in season 2 and 3. And her mom is amazing. So River is a bad king, and there's an entire episode of how he is a terrible king. However, he is a wonderful father, and he is an incredible husband too.
Oh, the kind of characters I like.
He just sucks at being a ruler. He doesn't understand it at all because he comes from Vikings.
Of course he does.
And so I really like those characters, and they're getting it. Not only are they focusing on the present, but they're also focusing on the past and how monsters and humans, they're like, oh, monsters can and humans can't possibly be friends. Well, Star is trying to make it so that monsters and humans
someone
can
hasn't
be
played
friends.
Undertale.
Right? Monsters and humans can totally be friends. And then but the past, they have this character named Eclipsa, Queen Eclipsa. It was Moon Butterfly, Star's mom. It was her grandmother, or her great grandmother. I think it was her great grandmother, and she was sealed away. She was crystallized because she fell in love with a monster.
Don't you just hate that?
Right? Stupid people. Crystallizing people for anything nowadays.
Sometimes people only crystallize because they got beaten up by Mikasa, but
so it's such an incredible show. Definitely recommended.
So we are going to talk about more stuff after this, but I know Drew really wanted to talk about this. Lemma Smash.
Lemma Smash. Yes.
Becky.
Smash 5.
Smash Circuits Online.
Oh my gosh, like, I don't even care if it's just Smash 4.5 and it's a port with, like, 14 new characters. That's all I need. That's all I want. I don't care.
What if it's
Smash
13?
4 was amazing. What if it's...
Killed it. Never gonna buy it. Nope.
Only 13? Fuck this. I I know that Smash is going to go through some changes, and I don't want Duck Hunt to leave, but honestly, they're probably gonna remove Duck Hunt as a character, and that sucks. But I bet you anything they're gonna replace Duck Hunt with Banjo Kazooie.
Do they even own the rights to Banjo-Kazooie?
Well, it is rare, and Microsoft.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Microsoft owns it.
Yeah, Microsoft owns Rare.
Crash is possible.
But Crash, yeah, Crash just got announced for the Switch, and Spyro got announced for the Switch also. Now, I don't know what they did to get Cloud Strife in Smash, but if they can get Cloud Strife, they can definitely get Crash and Spyro.
Yeah.
And oh my god, like I want Zero so badly
from Mega Man.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be insane, and I want Genro.
Genji. Oh.
Geno. Sorry, I want Geno. Genji. I want Geno from Mario RPG.
Mm-hmm.
The wooden puppet that has the star powers.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants Geno. And like Isaac from Golden Dawn, because Golden Dawn was really awesome. Isaac's already in the game. He's an assist trophy. I think they should take all of the
one we did talk about
costumes.
Was Okami could be one, or Amaterasu.
Yes. Amaterasu could be one from Okami, definitely. And I feel like that's a possibility since Duck Hunt was a character and they have a quadruped that's actually in there as just a dog. I think they actually might go for Amaterasu.
Yeah.
Because they made it work. And I think they might have been scared about how they could make it work before, but now they know they can. So I can see that. I can see Amaterasu being in there. And I would love that. I haven't played Okami though.
I still have yet to play it. I really want to.
Yeah, I've heard just wonderful things about it.
So there's like the Inkling, whatever they're called.
Yes, the Inklings are absolutely confirmed, and that's pretty cool that they're like 100%. So we know at least one new character, and it's the Inklings, which their kit it's imaginable. Someone out there has probably already guessed what their kit's gonna be.
I'm sure.
That's cool. I don't mind something being predictable. Like that's completely cool.
I mean, would you rather have it be like, oh, they have a duck as their weapon? Like, no, you're gonna expect it because that's the shit they use.
Right. And exactly, they already have ink and certain ink weapons that they'll be able to do. I mean, I imagine they'll be able to ink up the stage and then do their little teleport through ink, like they can swim through ink.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably be able to do that like Shadow Sneak that Greninja already has. So like since that ability is imaginable, I think that they will probably have that. So they'll just have a Shadow Sneak kind of Greninja attack, which is great. I think that would be a fun little twist. Like that would be hard to maybe a little bit harder to counter. I just so badly want Zero.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So, but I'll agree with you.
I'm so excited for Smash.
Yeah. But last week we also talked a bit about Soul Calibur 6 and like who do you think the special character will be this time? And I was just like, you know what, Geralt from Witcher would be a pretty cool one. And guess who was the fucking character?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Like the same week. Let's see, like yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be voiced by the same voice actor. He's gonna have abilities and all that. So, and yeah, obviously he's gonna have the sword. So that looks looks interesting. And
I love Soul Calibur, so I'm pretty.
I love Witcher, so
I'm pretty pumped that Soul Calibur's coming out.
yeah, so that's cool. I also want to talk about a few things that are like kind of just like in this week would make more sense to talk about right now.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. We got Monster Hunter is finally gonna have Deviljho, and we have a date for when Deviljho is gonna be added, which is March 22nd. It's gonna be. I think the quest is gonna be called the World Eater. And well, because Deviljho is gonna be a really tough one. He is able to. He can basically just eat his own fucking tail after you cut it off. And apparently his whole thing is that he will just jump on you when you're not expecting it, even when you're fighting an enemy. And he might even like eat other enemies, other monsters that you took down.
Oh, whoops!
And it's ooh.
That's awesome. Do you know when it's being ported to the PC?
It's pretty sure it's gonna be in August. Monster Hunter.
August? Ooh.
Oh yeah, and for those of you who don't know, who have Monster Hunter World, recently they released a voucher that you can download that allows you to re-edit your character once.
Ah.
Yeah. Q3, Q4 2018. So it will come out this year. It's their first time putting Monster Hunter on the PC, so they want to get it right.
Right. Ah, good. I'm glad that is the case.
Yeah, that's why they wanted to do it. That's why it's taken so long, because they want to make sure that their first foray into the PC market is the best that they can do at that time. Also, there's going to be a collaboration event. Like so far, we've had collaborations with Street Fighter and Horizon Zero Dawn, where you can like get outfits that make you look like either Aloy or Ryu. Next, there's going to be a collaboration event for Mega Man, where you can make your little Palico buddy into 8-bit Mega Man. 8-bit 3D Mega Man, and depending on the weapon type you have, it will play a different song.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing!
Yeah, it's actually really cool, and even like as they walk, it's doot 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 doot. So I'm looking forward to that actually, because that looks pretty cute. They also announced a Devil May Cry collaboration.
Oh,
which makes sense. It's Capcom. And I forgot when it was going to be coming. I don't think they say, but there's going to be one later this year. You'll get like 2 weapons. One's going to be a charge blade. The other I think is going to be a great sword or something different. And yeah, you get to look like either like you can look like Dante or Femme Dante.
Oh.
They actually have like a different a different look for the female Dante. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Let's see, anything else that would be good for this? Nah, that like I was thinking about talking about the BAFTA nominees, but that can wait, because the BAFTA isn't happening until the 12th of April.
Yeah. That will definitely allow us time then.
Let's see. Stardew Valley is in it. The multiplayer of it is in its QA phase.
Ah, that is cool. Multiplayer Stardew Valley.
And speaking of that, the creator of Stardew Valley is making a new game, and it already has a name. It's called Witchbrook. It's a
yes,
it's a magic school RPG.
Sounds like it's gonna be
And that
good.
sounds pretty interesting. So I guess it's the video game version of Little Witch Academia.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, everything else on here, I think we can just basically talk about next week. Oh, the Tomb Raider movie came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and people were photoshopping the triangle tits over the.
It's great. It's amazing. I love
Hunger
it.
Games girl.
Hunger Games girl?
Isn't that who plays Lara Croft?
No, it's Alicia Vikander. The Hunger Games girl is Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, okay. It's not her then.
And I heard it's not good.
What is the Tomb Raider? Is she in any other movies that I would know? Maybe.
You ever watched Ex Machina?
No.
The man from Uncle?
I have not.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
In that case, there's also for any of you guys who are actually into the game, what was it called? The game Tekken 7. The main character from Final Fantasy 15, Noctis, is going to be joining the lineup on the 20th. Just for anyone who was looking forward to that. She was in Jason Bourne, the latest one, the shitty one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
The Danish girl.
Nope.
Let's see. Shit. Unless you saw Anna Karenina.
I haven't.
Or
seen
The
that
Fifth Estate.
Nope.
Then yeah. There's other movies, but I'm pretty sure you haven't seen those ones because I don't know them. Yeah, so I heard it. I heard it's not that great. I heard it's like a 5 out of 10, which is sad because I mean I expected it because the trailer had her already dual wielding pistols, even though it's supposed to be based on the newest reboot of Tomb Raider, where she only uses dual wielding pistols at the very end of the game for one sequence.
Oh.
So I don't know. I think it would have been cool if they kind of focused on the dramatic or suspenseful thriller-like feel that came with the game in the reboot, because that game got horrific at times. And like it's based on survival, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like all these adventures she does are usually about her exploring a tomb, and it's or like her just trying to find a tomb. The new ones anyway. And none of the two that have come out have ever been like, oh, you have to save the world, and this one is where she has to save the world.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Huh.
It doesn't.
It just.
I'm just gonna finish that there. It doesn't.
It certainly does.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Unless you have anything else that you wanted to talk about.
No, I can save the other stuff like for next week.
All right. Yeah, so it's a bit of a short show and a shit show.
It's alright. It's casual. It's cool.
Unless there's nothing else we can like casually talk about. I can tell you more about Serious Children.
No, but see, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, so like I said, English dub. English dub is really
English
good,
dub.
actually.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's hit or miss, but I'm glad.
Well, nowadays
I'm
it
glad
seems
that I
like dubs are
know-
getting better. I think the reason why
That's true.
the dubs got such a bad rap is because back then dubs weren't that great. Like
That's
I
true.
I recently got shown the what people call the big green dub of Dragon Ball,
Oh.
where they got people who probably barely knew English and got them to speak English. Piccolo, who's the green one, right?
Yes.
The first part of the video I saw was like, it was a part where like I think Gohan was being held up by his like his collar, and then Piccolo comes in. And he's like, "It's Big Green."
Oh my God, that makes the joke in the abridged series way better.
Do they call him Big Green?
No, Krillin calls Dende Little Green.
But it's like Gohan's voice, like, it's Big Green.
It's Big Green.
And then for every like action that Goku does, he will say Kamehameha. So if he's like breaking out of ice, he's like Kamehameha. If he's like pushing something, he's like Kamehameha. I need to find the video for that. And I also got shown the. It's been such a long time since I played House of the Dead 2, but I got sent videos of like the voice acting.
Oh God, yeah.
Don't come! You gotta help him! Done. Oh no, I can't. I don't want to die.
Such a bad.
There's nothing we could do.
There's
And then the last guy who's like, committed the greatest sin of mankind ever. And this is the final battle. It's like bad. Yeah. So let me get the Big Green dub. It's Big Green.
It's Big Green.
Dub DBZ. Yeah, that was the one I watched. I'll let people like listen.
Answer me. Who are you?
It's Big Green.
It's Big Green. You just like I gotta get your reaction to it. It's just like it's literally. Oh, and yeah, by the way, Piccolo's voice actor, really not great with English. Let that child alone.
Let that child alone.
Let me alone. Yeah, so go watch the first bits. Like it's literally the first few seconds.
I will. Let's see. Open. Let that child alone.
Let that child alone.
It's Big Green.
And then the next line from Piccolo. Let that child alone. Yeah, so guys, if you ever
that's Lord Slug.
Look up the Big Green any of you guys who are watching, look up the Big Green dub Dragon Ball Z, and you will just go with the one from Filthy Pleb. You will not be disappointed. Also look up voice acting from House of the Dead 2. You will also not be disappointed. I am probably eventually going to watch a playthrough of the whole House of the Dead 2, and I will come back with my findings. It's a study, you see.
Yes.
How bad can it be? Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that's it. Next week we'll actually be talking about news stories. We'll have a lot to talk about, and it'll be good because we'll have Specs with us, so we'll have more people to talk with.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Just let that child alone.